Welcome. Tammy. Hey.
Hello. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I wanted to sit with you with a part of myself that's come up, which is like feels like there's a fear there, but it feels like a part of me that feels rejected or thinks it's going to be rejected and sort of rejects itself before anybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I could tell you the situation that arose, or we could just be with that.
No, look, I think almost all of us know that. But the thing is, it's like, it's interesting the way you speak about it, that it's a part of you. I would more describe it as something that's playing in you that has nothing to do with you. And it's just, who knows, because we don't know where that comes from. It can be ancestral from many generations back, and even if it's information from this lifetime, it's just information. It's not a part of you. It's just you could say, and you see it. You see the mechanism playing. Yeah. So let's just have a look at a few aspects of it. Yeah. So in this moment, how, like, what would it take? What would it look like for me to reject you? So we're just looking now. We're exploring. Yeah. Now we're looking at it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if a movement away happened in me, first of all, would it be you that movement was happening relational to, or would it be relational to a pattern playing in you? And would it have, if it was something happening in me, what does it have to do with you?
Yeah, it's easy to see that with you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So that's why we're just looking at. So we can see that sometimes we've all had the experience where something in us moves away. But if we slow that down and look, it's moving away from, I wouldn't say it's ever a person that it's moving away from. It's moving away from something that is perceived to be dangerous to us, or you could say, not in tune with us. It would be related to a perception. Yeah.
Yeah. When you ask the question, it just feels like it's my thinking. It's my thoughts.
Yeah. And so we can say, yes, it's a thought, but it does bring up, a whole deluge of chemicals that would flood the system, and then all the feelings and emotions that would come with that, no doubt. but it's first comes down to like, it's, it can happen that someone gets something in their eye and we take it personally. We think they don't like us or something like that. So it's always related to something that's going through a filter. And even if it is something that they perceive that they have difficulty with, it's like, it really doesn't have anything to do with us. It only has to do, but the same is true when someone says, I love you, because, that's like considered romantic. But for me, I always look and go, okay, who's the I and who's the you? Is it an idea of me you love? Is it, what is the me that you think you love? I mean, it's because it's like, there's just love flowing, but it's never towards an object, or it's usually towards an idea or a perception or something like that. So that's one level of this that you're interested in exploring. So somehow with no thought, there's just like movements that happen. You watch somebody's having difficulty, and then something takes it personally.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because the context I'm in is I'm dating somebody at the moment. So it's it's like, it's just triggering a whole lot of stuff for me.
All stuff, yeah. So, a lot of times, I mean, it's interesting to explore like your ancestry. What was your perception of how your mom and dad related?
Oh, it was violent.
Yeah, okay,
It was
so
not,
cool.
not,
So that
not
was
love.
an imprint, yeah. So that was an imprint, yeah?
Mm.
And then in their lineage, I mean, I don't know how far back but like relating has never been the easiest game in town, because, especially for generations earlier, it was like, it was never been easy, you could say. It's because patterns come up and there's ideas of roles and what it all means. So, we carry all that information for sure.
Mm.
So, like the moment we move, you say you're dating, so there's some interest in some person or spending time with someone.
Yes.
And then with that, then all the patterns related to intimate relating start to show up.
Mm.
So of course, that's what it's good for.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, we haven't. Yeah.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is to see, like, what does identification really mean? So a pattern comes up, and one way of seeing it is, wow, the moment there's a recognition of our nature being awareness, every pattern will show up.
Oh yeah, it's happening. A lot's happening.
Yeah.
I'm unable to speak, kind of thing.
Yeah. So but it comes up within the context of recognizing that your nature is awareness. But yet when a pattern shows up, usually it shows up and there's automatic unconscious identification with it. So, what is that mechanism of identification? It's when there's some wanting to change it, fix it, or get rid of it.
Yeah.
Making it personal in some way.
Yeah, I can see.
Without it,
I can
without
see.
that,
Sorry, go on.
Without that identification, there's just a seeing. Oh wow, there's old information here. Something in the system doesn't feel worthy, doesn't feel lovable, doesn't feel valued or seen or appreciated. I mean, there's many different layers that it can touch. But again, it's actually an opportunity for all those to come to peace. But they will not come to peace if there's identification. If there's any movement to want to change, fix, or get rid of, or work on it, or anything like that, it locks in because it's getting more energy. You know, you could say the quality of attention to it makes it seem real. So all that's happening, you know, it's like you start to move into, there's an interest to spend time with someone, and you know, it's like, and oftentimes in that movement there's some idea that love comes from outside.
Yeah.
We want to be loved or liked, all that. So there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of information that just shows up. We might be intellectually aware of it, but on an emotional level, you know, it'll touch lots of different layers. So it's beautiful to just slow it down like we hear, okay? And there's this, you know, sense of, in a rejecting ourselves in some way.
Yeah, I could really feel that today.
Yeah, before anyone else can do it. But what does rejecting ourselves mean? Because which is the self that's being rejected? There's a rejection of us, of an impression of ourselves, you know, something like that.
Well, that's all. It's all the identity doing itself. Like it's sort of
all
it's all
the
part
identity
of
doing itself. Yeah.
it's
and the
like
function,
it's trying
and the
to,
function, yeah. And the function of that is trying to protect us.
Yeah.
So it's not wrong or not bad. You know, it's actually trying to protect us. So it's serving, you know, it's probably served the function of generations, you could say. But then the question is, going a little deeper with that, if we can see that, if we can see, oh, look, it's nothing wrong with it. It's like at some point that was probably how we survived. But then, so being gentle with it and honoring it in a certain sense, but then just looking and saying, okay, that movement, does it actually protect me?
No, I saw it today, and I didn't act on any of it, and it all didn't happen. But I see how that's probably played out in other relationships.
Yeah.
And had me leave people or whatever. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. And then leave, you know, that's another interesting thing to look at, because we, you know, we contextualize things. Oh, I'm in relationship, or I've broken up. And can we leave someone? Or, you know, like what happens is, you know, it's like somehow that mechanism of trying to protect means that we might move away from where there's actually a sweet flow. But it's not from a person that it's moving away. It's moving away from a projected pain, or you know, it's, you know, so it's like, so it's trying to help us. It's clear. It's definitely trying to help. Yeah. And so then we left here now, and just in this moment, we've looked at things. There's nothing to change or fix. There's just old information, you know, around, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, who knows? But they thoughts, really. It's like, and it's like, so to me, as long as it stays in dualism, like I love you, there'll be fear because there's distance. I'm not relating to boundlessness. I'm relating to an idea of someone.
Mm.
So that resting here now, just resting here now beyond boundaries, just, it's like nothing to do, no one to do it. There's awareness, this whole movie is appearing in awareness.
That feels scary too.
Yeah, good. Let's stay in that, and then let's just explore what does scary mean?
Well, just in now, I feel like I'm going the other direction. You know what you're talking into, and it feels like an unknown place.
Yeah. So that's that activity that wants to keep everything in the known and so-called safe is old information. It's like it's cool, so beautiful. That's coming up to be seen now.
And it's like
sure.
that aspect feels like a know-it-all kind of aspect, like it thinks it knows everything, and
it thinks it knows everything. Absolutely.
It likes to.
And so so again, we can just say these old friends are starting to reveal themselves, and it has to happen. That's part of this whole, I could say, love affair. Because all these old paradigms and mechanisms and the ways in which like consciousness has tried to defend itself against being what it is, naked, not knowing.
Seems crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's when we really see it for what it is, it's everything we never wanted, actually.
Yeah, and it feels like there's also like kind of a real kind of fuck off. I don't know what that is, but it feels like I don't know what that is. Like when like an anger and a kind of, that kind of thing comes up in me.
Yeah, so, the moment there's some sense of separation, there'll be fear.
No, I mean when I move the other way, like when I move into connecting.
Then everything that has been, you could say, that's been playing unconsciously will show up. All the mechanisms that have tried to protect, that have tried to kind of control, will start to show up. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's uncomfortable. That phase of it is not exactly comfortable. It's usually not spoken about, because most times people get into this interest thinking it's going to be blissful and beauty and stuff, but like everything will come up. There's no doubt. It has to. And then, the safe haven, so to speak, is just resting as our true nature and watching the automaticities it wants to fix, change, or get rid of. That, all the activities of identification that show up, and they will. So now, to me, it just feels like your heart is getting unprotected and vulnerable at the moment. At least to my perception, that's how it feels. And just how is this now? Just to rest like this.
How is it?
Yeah.
It feels like what I'm experiencing is like moving through kind of where I have journeyed through kind of a fuck off, but like underneath, you know, looking lovely on the outside, but really fuck off. And it just feels like I'm sort of journeying through that right now, feeling sad about being like that, like something, acknowledging that.
When that's honored and it's just seen for what it is, and it's not you doing it, it's just how the system has survived it to now, and you're just noticing, you're just present to it. Not trying to change it or fix it, just okay, something in the system is looking through the filter of fuck off, like this. And it's okay, it's not wrong, it's not bad. And when that's held tenderly, without it being wrong, just honoring it, it's just like, how's that? When that can be here, it's not wrong, it's not bad. That awareness is still here. Who you are is still here.
Well, it's everything because it feels like it's got everything in it, if like precious kind of love, and then like I feel like my dad and me here, and there's like the anger that was there, and but so much of it, and then there is a deep love that gets rejected in that, and that's sort of just swirling around at the moment. And
cool.
And I can feel how identity comes in and thinking comes in, and
all of that. Yeah. I mean, it's funny to say it this way. It's like, to me, when there's relating and there's, you could say, the primary interest is truth or this exploration, then these mechanisms have a space to come up and they can be met together without trying to fix it, without trying to change it, just resting. Okay, this is what's coming across the screen right now. And yeah, can you be present with it with me? And without a demand, that just like, would you be willing? And then, wow, that's amazing when what comes up in intimate relating can be met like that. That's awesome, just like it's being met right now. It's not personal, trying to fix it. But it's usually tricky, and like, unless you could say there's a deep interest in exploring, it so quickly goes into the personal, and then it's like, oh, there's something wrong with you, or there's something wrong with me, or
I can feel this layer of psychology that's happened in my life, and how that tries to do that, and I just have to, it feels like I just label it psychology and notice it's happening, and then just try to just let that happen as well at the same time, because it does that.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes me a little girl and him a father.
Just
even now,
again, taking a few moments just to rest. Don't have to even, it's like, don't have to label what's going on. Just taking a holiday, just resting together. Whatever wants to come, letting it come. Not having to hold anything back, not having to be any special way, just here. Not having to understand, not having to describe. And just checking to see that no matter what arises, awareness is still here.
Mm.
I'm just checking to see if you sense that I'm with you and I'm just right here. If I have any agenda for anything to be different.
No, you don't.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool.
I
So
just,
we're just here together.
yeah, I just got lost in a body sensation, you know?
That's okay.
Yeah, and wanting that to, like, feeling like it was tight, wanting it to, like, something, trying to get it to move faster than it is, you know, when it, you know.
Yeah, it's okay. Nothing has to be different.
You seem softer to me than ever before. Like, I haven't seen you for a while. You seem so different.
Oh,
Like, a lot's changed since I last saw you.
for us.
Yeah, it feels really soft. I'm just seeing you on my screen, but I feel I'm aware of everybody else now.
Yeah, cool. Let's just go to gallery view for a moment.
Yeah,
If you're
sure.
open to that, just for
Yeah,
1 second.
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious if anybody has gotten any value out of this exploration. If you could just to see, Tammy, that this
Oh,
has
good.
been useful.
Because I was thinking I
Yeah,
was
cool.
taking up too much time.
Yeah, but just to see,
I know.
you know, yeah. So good. Let's go back to I'll pin your thing. It's just important to see that, you know, that actually when we exploring, it's exploring for everybody, for you know, for life. It's not personal.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, these mechanisms play in everybody. Yeah.
Mm. Well, I know I'm really interested in exploring like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
Mm.
Just watch where, you know, like the almost automatic unconscious movement is always to want to change, fix, and get rid of.
Mm.
So just noticing whenever that creeps in, because it will. There's, you know, that's, I could say, the moment there's some level of a sense of not all rightness, those movements will come in. And just to recognize that those are the movements of identification. That's where it starts to seem personal. That's where it starts to seem to mean something about me. And it plays the same in every one of us.
Mm. So just to notice it and remember that awareness is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, otherwise there's this idea that we have to work on something, we have to fix it, or, you know, like,
yeah.
and the
Oh, yeah.
moment it moves into that, then it concretizes that sense that there's
Yeah.
something wrong with not only with me, but something wrong somewhere,
Yeah.
other than just an automatic unconscious pattern playing that we have no idea where it comes from. Actually, it can come from many generations back. We don't know.
So we just don't touch anything.
Yeah, you could say it like that. It's
Like
just
that.
like, you know, in the sense that those movements that happen, they have a thought component, an emotional component, a chemical component, and they can seem so real.
Yeah.
But when there's just a resting, the tendency is they come and they go, they come and they leave, because nothing gives it energy, so to speak.
Mm.
That's all really healthy. That's just beautiful releasing happening by
Mm.
itself with no doing whatsoever. Yeah.
Mm.
And just without any special way that it should be, how do you sense that? Are we meeting? What's the flow happening at the moment? Yeah. Just resting.
I'm not sure I know how to answer that, but it feels like there's heaps of room for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like I remember it, and it feels like what I was feeling then with whatever you said before, what you just said, was not only just watching everything, but also what came in was a quality of like I got a tattoo on my arm recently. I don't really know, and it's sacred. And it was really this experience I had where everything is sacred. So even that, you know, everything. And and I've experienced it before, and I haven't been experiencing that. And that just came in, that quality of,
How beautiful.
oh, every little, not, as well as letting it just be here and then it wanders off or whatever, but also with the preciousness of with the tenderness. If it needs to think, or you know what it does, but just a quiet, sacred sweetness.
Yeah, beautiful.
And a sense that you know, I don't know anything, but a sense that that is who I am, you know, and you and every one of us here, we're that space, we're that sweet space. It allows all of it.
Yeah. Exquisite. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks for
Thank you.
exploring.
Good to see you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Mwah. Daphne. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, your tenderness is such a gift. Yeah, I find myself also with not seeing a lot of patterns in relating, or actually it's only one. It's if somebody comes close, sometimes there comes a very critical focus on that person, and it's happening here now in these days. A friend came over, and now I just feel this huge distance, and I can't come through it. You know, I only see, like, I try to understand what it's about, what it's good for, that I do that or that it happens, and it feels like it creates a
So
distance.
Just honoring that mechanism. You know, it's like, I'd say for most of us, we've had many different experiences where we've gotten involved just because of chemical rushes in our brain without discrimination, without really seeing clearly. You know, so we get involved in situations where hurt happens.
Well, that wasn't the case with us. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying you've had that experience, right?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, when that happens a few times, especially, we lose trust with our own, you know, with ourselves. And so this mechanism of being critical is trying to take the function of assisting us not make that same mistake. So you know, it's like, but the difficulty, the difficulty is.
Wow. Oh. Oh wow. Oh.
You know, because,
That, and it's such a
somehow
joy
there's,
to see
yeah,
that. I can tell you,
yeah,
something really
no, because
opening.
there is a longing, there is the longing
Yeah.
to be present in a way that's nurturing, where there's love flow. The part of the trickiness is, to be able to rest and just enjoy love flowing is simple. But in our minds, it always wants to turn it into a relationship or something. And relationship is a construct. It doesn't actually exist. It's, but so once we enter into a construct like that, then we kind of, now we're in relationship. And now what are the alternatives? I either have to break up or I have to stay in it. And so all of a sudden we feel trapped in some ways. And, so it's like we enter into something, it's a bunch of spoken and unspoken agreements. And now, it's like now we're in something, and if we want to come out of it, then, then there's pain, you could say like that. But it's like, because we haven't yet learned, in a certain sense, to meet innocently, freshly, just here. Not over jumping anything, not moving into something, not making it mean something more, but just enjoying the meeting. And so, like, to me, it looks like that mechanism, that criticalness, is trying to protect against moving into another construct, into, now we together, or now we something.
Yeah.
So it's serving,
Yeah. Up till now, we are spending time since like a few months, and every meeting was like felt very, very aware, very aware of, and very transparent with whatever is touched, and really just trying to be present to whatever comes up. And we didn't name it consciously. So we didn't name it as a relationship or anything. So, but now, and there was always a lot of space and a lot of awareness, which I really love. Nothing romantic, just really being, the only commitment we had, or I had, was like really being real with whatever is happening in the present moment. And now that he came over, we decided spontaneously, he came over, I'm on vacation here. And now I feel like, oh, now he came over, and now I have to be nice, but I don't feel open at all. I don't. Yeah. So now, and
exactly. So that's, so just look, so just there, right there, you can see what happened. That went into this obligation, into an idea of obligation. And so just look at that. Is there any actual obligation? Was that just an idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're free.
Yeah.
You don't owe anyone anything. You're free. And if the sense of, if somewhere he's got an idea that there is some obligation or something like that, then that can be explored, because it sounds like it's a mature person, and you can just say, I don't know if it's something coming up in me that feels obligated, or if I'm picking up on something, but whatever, it messes up the sweet meeting. So, then it becomes something that can be explored. But if it moves into, like there's something wrong with me, that then exploration stops. Yeah. So just to see that criticalness is, comes out of that. It's directly related to that sense of obligation.
Yes.
And feeling unfree, basically, then not feeling free. Yeah.
I feel very threatened, and also like if somebody has like wants something, it's like I can't breathe. It's maybe also something really old, but strong.
And then so just let's be with that. So if somebody wants something, because that can come up in anyone, it can come up in you, it can come up in me, it can come up in anyone, where wanting comes up.
I just want to fight them. I have to really.
Yeah. So wanting can come up, and then not wanting comes up, relational to the wanting. So to me, it seems if we sense there's a wanting coming up, and we notice how our system responds to that, rather than trying to change how it responds to it or anything, it's just if it's possible, to bring that vulnerably. Like, I'm not sure if it's even true that there's a wanting, but my system perceives that there's a wanting, and it goes immediately into this trying to defend and not wanting, you could say. It doesn't feel free. And just to put it on the table. It's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just a dynamic. I mean, I think, again, it's something that's so generic. I think almost all of us know that. From both sides, both the wanting and the not feeling free when somebody wants something from us. And, in my experience, if we try to not want, that never works.
No.
That if the wanting is acknowledged, oh wow, wanting is coming up, in spite of, it's like it's coming up, and I can recognize that wanting is coming up, and I just like to be present with it. It's not wrong, it's not bad. I can see it might be difficult for your system to relate to, but it's just what's here. And can we just be present with it? It's no different than anything else that rises, actually.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also the not wanting, yeah. So.
Yeah. I like what you said before, that really to be aware when you take it personal, that mechanism, because I really felt also really bad these days, and really trying to understand what it's good for and how to solve it, how to be more open again. And but when I would sense myself, I could only feel, no, I really don't want. I absolutely don't want to connect in you know, in a deep way.
In that way, yeah.
Yeah.
So just now, we haven't tried to change anything. We haven't tried to fix anything. All we've done is we've looked at the mechanism playing, and we've just seen it clearly. And just feel how it feels now in your body. Just in this moment, right here, right now.
I feel some chemicals in the body or some residue, but it feels actually very peaceful.
Yeah, beautiful. And those chemicals take a little longer to release out of the system, and it's fine. If there's another single what's of a residue, that's fine. Just if they're not re-stimulated, the body will come out of it.
Yeah, and actually these days, often I felt peaceful. Somehow I felt peaceful, but then there came the thought, yeah, but you know, you have to do something. It's not okay. You have to, you know, look deeper, or it's because it's not pleasant for him, and you have to, and you want to come out of it. You don't want to do it over and over again. But somehow, when I got quiet, it was peaceful. I could see I don't really know more than I know now. Thank you. That was very helpful.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, Andrea.
Oops. Hi, Isaac. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah.
Gaia. Hey,
Hello.
Gaia.
Hello. Last meeting when we both wanted to tune into Venus heart or whatever, to Bina, I had to interrupt because some circumstances came. And yeah, I like to ask you if we can do it now together.
Sure. Yeah, with pleasure.
I can describe a little bit her situation right now, if it's helpful.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So yesterday morning, she decided to go to hospital because her belly is really big and under pressure, and to have a punction to get rid of the fluid. And so, but there was not a lot of fluid coming out, so she has no release. And yeah, so the belly seems to be full of tumor. That's her situation right now. And yeah, doctors somehow gave her up and just can give her pain release. That's the situation right now. And I don't know if I can take her home today again, or that's not clear yet. So that's the situation. And in me, it's like I noticed tension around my chest. And what's happening now is noticing more coming down, so to say.
Oh, beautiful. Just we resting and we just watch.
Yes.
No agenda, nothing, just.
Yes. And yeah, thanks for your help.
Yeah. Just noticing gently what the mind does, what happens in the body. Just nothing has to be any particular way. Nothing has to be. Just an opportunity to just watch. This is like a deep. You could say part of the journey when you're with someone where there's love flowing and they're not feeling well, and could be their time to transition, and then just everything that comes with that.
Yeah, the mind movements.
Yeah,
the mind movement that I notice is I have to do something. I want to help. I want to, and I want to read her signs well, and that's what's going on in my mind. Yeah. Does she give me the sign, please help me to finish my life somehow? Yeah. That's also, I spoke today with her sister also and thought, so we have to think about that somehow. But I don't know if it's true. We have to think about that. Yeah. So,
just the thought, I have to be sensitive to signs and stuff. You can see how that would create ripples, yeah? Nothing wrong with those ripples, but definitely would create ripples.
yes.
So the interest is just unconditional presence, yeah?
Yes.
Just resting.
Yes.
I guess trusting or knowing that that intelligence will respond. Doesn't have to go via the mind, doesn't have to go through thinking, doesn't have to go through anything.
Yeah, yes, thank you so much for that reminding and speaking, truth, so to say. And I feel very loved by you, whatever that means. That's how it is here. Yeah? That's how it resonates, and feel that like an embrace from you, which is lovely and helps me.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, thank you.
Yeah, and then it's just we don't know. None of us know how many more minutes or hours or days or months we have left. Yeah.
Yes.
But Thich Nhat Hanh just transitioned, and there's so many beautiful poems that he wrote about life and his seeing, and it's beautiful in my just beautiful expression, just of.
Yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh, he was one of the wise people that even were in our public TV here, like in Bavarian TV, and he's such a delight to watch his innocence and his beautiful,
yeah. And so, you know, like maybe some of his writings could be a comfort just to be in the vibration of them, because really clear seeing, really clear and no fluff, nothing, no hype. Yeah. Good reminders.
So thank you. I give space for somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Guy. Yeah.
Thank you too so much.
Yeah. Oh, Brigitte.
Hi, Isaac. Can you speak, please?
Sure. Does that help?
Yep.
Great.
Thank you. I want to sit with you, and I want to bring something in that is I feel that I'm landing in keep landing in the same story. I was really in a positive force field, so to speak, during the cancer treatment and the fall, and with all the meetings we had, and strict on food supplements and food and everything I was doing. And now it's over. I still am in a very, how do you say, challenging recovery process from the fall, and with muscle strength and etc. But it seems like I fall into a very old pattern of can't do it anymore, or this is too much, or anger at the world. This is fuck it kind of a attitude.
Yeah. Overwhelm, basically.
Yeah. That's the basic. It's huge rage and anger, and it's not helpful at all. I start doing things which I never did before, like eating a lot of sweets, or just when I go into a shop, buy 2 brownies instead of none, and eat them all in the car. and I see myself doing it, but I see am I also in the same mental loop, you know, going into same stories. So it's
So let's just slow down, Birgitte. So just, you know, like, to me, the word emotion literally means with movement. So the emotions like anger or whatever that is a movement to get away from something. A movement to get away from some sensation. And so somewhere, like, you know, what you're describing to my ears sounds like overwhelm, like it's too much.
Yeah.
And so let's just, if we can, just track back to the actual sensation. It's like, you know, it's, because again, that too much is something so familiar to almost everybody, you know, just, you know, it's to manage.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And with 5 medical visits a week, just for it's an overwhelm.
It's an overwhelm, yeah.
Well, the first impulse that came up is my I don't know, well, it's a belief, but it's also a physical sensation that there is a lack of love. Separation. And the longing to be one, whole.
Again, just that longing, welcome it, honoring it. That longing is appearing in awareness. It's not separate to awareness. Just being with the longing pure, just that sense of longing. In some ways, you know, that longing is to come to a place of no longing. Longing to not long, yeah. Longing to simply be at peace.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel, as if I'm falling through layers, in and out of connection, to a more peaceful place.
Yeah. And, you know, that includes allowing the longing to be what it is without trying to change it or fix it, or, you know, it's like even longing to be healthy or longing to not have to deal with the doctors or whatever it's, you know, the longing is for, to
Yeah. And then the voice comes, but I'm still very angry.
Longing to not be angry or whatever. And then, just playing again. It's like anger comes and we can describe it as I'm angry, anger is rising, anger is coming up in me.
Mhm.
Different ways of
You want me to find what is appropriate for myself?
no, just to notice that there's different ways of contextualizing it.
Mm. Yeah.
No right way, no wrong way. Just
Yeah, and I can feel that anger is also part of the story I tell myself,
yeah.
that I have an entitlement.
You know, in a sense, Birgitte, like when there's overwhelm, it can move into a sense of collapse,
Yeah.
and and sometimes the function of the anger is to try and get energy to not move into a collapse, so it's like it's a rebound, to not go into the collapse.
Yeah.
So just to see it as for what it is, it has its function. It's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just
Oh,
you
anger
know,
is
the-
a very forceful life energy.
yeah, for sure. So but you see, like in a certain sense, if it moves into collapse, then it feels like it's over, so to speak. So the anger is a rebound to come away from that sense of collapse. I could say it like that. But it's just part of that overwhelm cycle. It's just we're here and there's awareness here, and then somehow,
Now that's very helpful because I know the collapse. I land in collapse
Mhm.
moments in the day or an hour in the day or whatever. When I lose myself in useless Netflix series or
Yeah,
collapse.
yeah. And so it's like yeah, a lot of our lives are spent in kind of earning a living or taking care of kids or just moving, you could say, like that, and getting some sense of meaning out of those movements and some sense of something to look forward to, getting somewhere, all that stuff, but it's like this, some sense where it generates some sense of usefulness or meaning or
Yeah.
and so and so at this stage it's like, okay, that's falling away and you're just here. But what's here when then the challenge has been, how do I get healthy again, or how do I deal with this? It's now it's like your hands are getting emptier and emptier and you're just here. And so, but there's remnants of those old mechanisms of looking to where do you get meaning out of when you're spending time watching Netflix and like
Yeah, I think,
dealing with
yeah.
compensations for sensations like eating or sugar or whatever it is. Like they're all movements, you could say. Nothing right or wrong about it, but something in it then goes into.
So what I feel when you're describing all this, they're all movements in moving away from.
Exactly.
And moving away from what I really have been avoiding all my life by being such a doing busy bee.
Mhm. Yeah.
And me, a very a very meaningful way in this society. And that's what I feel too, because I have strange to think that that recuperating from everything I've been going through has no meaning.
Mhm.
I forget about myself.
Yeah.
It was a realization.
Money, I'm speaking to what I sense going on, it's like, so now there's an opportunity to stop running after anything.
Yeah, but even thinking that this system and helping this system to live easier has,
Yeah.
it's so unloving to think that that is meaningless.
Yeah. Well,
Which not to spin it as a new story, but to realize that that is one of the underlying factors.
yeah.
Going
Yeah.
Yeah.
So an opportunity, and see if it resonates, to stop. Not to get anywhere, but just to watch that drive and watch that, how it all is revolved around this.
Yeah. Here I am in this ideal place, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you sense now, and what do you recognize?
It's
Yeah.
it's like I'm there is this huge expansion, jump in love and nothingness and space and connection.
Not bad, eh?
Is that what you sense?
Yeah. Hidden underneath all that movement, yeah, here it is.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's wonderful. It's not even describing it well. Yeah. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, thanks, Brigitte. Lily.
Hi everybody. So I noticed in the system in a family thing with a bit of rejection. And if I look at everything else, it's been heightened. All my defenses have been heightened.
Thanks, Lily.
So
Ah, your turn.
I just wanna, express gratitude. So it's so beautiful, and it's such a gift. It's I wonder why other people, like friends of mine, older friends, and when I tell them, and they just don't respond, and it's so funny to me. It looks so funny because there's the door where God is, and you go everywhere else. you look under the.
Isn't it funny like that? It's like somehow we have to run after all these things until we see actually.
Like you look
It's
under
when we
the.
stop.
You look under the light where the street light is there. You look for the key, and so stupid. And that's what I know it, of course I know it very well.
All of us, yeah.
Funny thing. It's wow. And it feels like we are actually looking for ways to share it with others in our little space, and it's we just want to invite to meet and to it's maybe it's a byproduct of the fact of this corona lockdown stuff that we just have to think of how can we bring it into existence ourselves. And it's again and again it's this question of the field, like we are relating, Andrea and me, and it's that's beautiful, and at the same time it feels like it wants to be shared, and it wants to be lived in a bigger field, like
in the community.
It doesn't feel like having a fixed community to live together, but just
I understand. Communing. And I mean, for me, that's kind of what happens in these onlines is we have this community without any ideation, without anything, just a common interest, meeting, exploring together.
And it's such a jewel to that changes everything. So I mean, it's just Yes.
I think it's so natural. It's so natural to want to, to live as an invitation, basically. And see what responds.
When you last were here, Isaac, you might remember the room Yatrin built. And we sat together yesterday evening and were asking the question, hey, why did I actually build the room? And Yatrin said, I built it for Isaac to come here. And now it's going to find a new purpose. It's showing us its purpose, where the room is for. Overflow.
And it's funny. This Bible saying if there are I don't know how many 3 of you meeting in my name, like it is Jesus saying, I'm there. Like it feels like when we are meeting with like on Mondays, or it feels like the silence is there. It just works. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like I was looking at this. Thich Nhat Hanh was saying, you know, if you want to meet me, you're going to have to get much more subtle because I'm in every leaf, in every tree, in every blade of grass. You know? Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Everywhere.
Yeah. So thanks.
Thanks, Katrin. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Isaac, could you speak, please?
Say again. Okay. Yeah.
So beautiful, Yatrin. Thank you very much in the sharing. That's really, really went deeply into this system. Now, much better, which is coming up, and that when you use the word commune, is that I have this urge to share and to give, which is coming up the past month, and now I have a better understanding of it. I want to commune in this field of light and love and meet in that way.
Yeah, you know, and it's in a way, in that interest, it's like get even, if it's possible, to get even more subtle, so that you start to commune with the trees, with the wind, with the everything, you know. It's like we can get very people oriented, that like just to commune with life, with everything. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's nothing lacking. I mean, really and truly, it's the idea that something's lacking is a thought. It's not more.
Mhm. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for this this addition, because that's true. It's
Yeah.
but I understand now the what came up as communing is it also feels like I have so much to share, to give, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what wants to come out.
Yeah.
Of course, first thing is I think of people, but I can
Mm.
practice by communing with everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Much more subtle and much more powerful, actually.
Yeah.
Beauty bitte. Emmy. Hey, Emmy.
Hi, Isaac. There just came up something I wanted to share. That was all at once some perspective came up. I don't know how to say it. That my life actually is full of things, situations, and people who that are perfect for me to, that my patterns can come up. I don't know how to say it. It just seemed very wonderful to me to see it that way.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Such a, at this moment, some moments I don't see it like that, but at this moment it seems so rich.
Yeah.
What all is available. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How lucky, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's so easy to see a difference, to see it as a difficulty or something that I have to be good in or to do my best in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This meeting also has been very rich for me in many aspects. Yeah. Yeah, I find myself a little bit silly talking.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Roger. Hi, Roger.
Hello.
Greetings. Thank you, Roger. Yeah.
Yeah.
On a practical note, then the next meeting will be on Tuesday, and then the following Friday and Sunday there will be the retreat is starting, so there won't be meetings the next Friday and Sunday. There are still spaces in the retreat if anyone wants to jump in. Lars, thank you so much for hosting. Thank you everybody for showing up and being together so beautifully. Love, peace, beauty. Good night, good morning.